FitMC. In the spring of 2015, our worst fears had been realized. The coordinates of Asgard II had been publicly leaked. Just like at my previous base, I took what I could, and I fled. The remaining members went into a panic and destroyed many parts of the base themselves, so that way no one could claim that they had griefed Asgard II. To this day, it is still unknown how the coordinates became public. Some people say there was a spy. Others say an exploit was used. But there has never, ever been closure on what happened at Asgard II. I met up with Judge Holden in the Nether. He told me he was taking me to a place where all the members of Asgard were gathering. It was official. Sato had called for the third incursion. We set up a forward operating base so that we could prepare for the coming incursion. We wanted to make sure everyone was geared up enough to be able to fight at spawn and stay alive. This was an exciting time for many of us. Those of us that started during the second incursion were now experienced enough to fight during the third. Making our way to spawn, we built a temporary base to show off our wealth to any new players that would dare step foot in it. Pyrobyte used infinite XP bottles to level us up to godlike levels. Once most of the players had arrived, construction on what would be the legendary Wrath outpost began. The incursion defended the site for weeks, as we repelled multiple invaders that tried to take down Wrath before it was built. Even Housemaster showed up to see what all the commotion was about. It was truly an amazing time to be on 2B2T. As more and more players were killed by the incursion, construction became much quicker, and Wrath truly started to take shape. Pyrobyte was hard at work, multiple hours a day to complete Wrath. From spawning ghasts to having unlimited TNT, every exploit in the book was being used during the incursion. After Wrath was completed and successfully defended for weeks, Sato called for the incursion to end. Our mission was complete. We had taken out our anger over Asgard II on anyone that stood in our way. Players began to leave spawn again. I stayed behind for a few weeks, but eventually I left too, into the end. Wanting to set another airship record, I went out farther than anyone else had ever gone in the end, and developed my own small base, the DFC. Using only the supplies I had brought with me, some saplings and a cobblestone generator, I soon turned the DFC into something amazing. And my vision was for it to be an outpost for all players to use traveling throughout the end via airship. But eventually I discovered that Mojang had intended to expand the end, and make it possible to get out as far as you possibly wanted. I had to abandon the project. It was a lost cause that would fall one day. From the summer of 2015 up until the day Rusher joined, I alternated between farming gold at my gold farm and exploring all of 2B2T and trying to find artifacts for my museum. In my travels, I discovered many bases that had never been made public, and I kept a very secretive list of coordinates. And in June of 2016, when the rushers started pouring into 2B2T, I knew what I had to do. And Sato gave me his full support, and the movement of Team Veteran began. Now, what's your story?